Watching One Piece. Next, it's Out of This World thrills on Alien Racers, right here on 4Kids TV.
They've gathered from the farthest reaches of the galaxy to race for the ultimate power. Ultrox, busting full velocity in the Macon. Grog, burning rubber in the Battle Synth. Gnarl, cruises in the Stone Claw. And Scratch is bad to the bone in the Flame Skull. Vying for the fate of the universe, they are Alien Racers. The race is on. All new. Up next. To get inside the world of Alien Racers, go to 4kids.tv.
The universe, cradle to the most brilliant minds in the galaxy. And then, there's Scratch. Alien Racers, the race is on. Coming up next.
My aching clavicle.
It's Team Len versus Team Dyrado, but Len must conquer the darkness in his heart to be victorious.
Everyone should admit to the darkness in their hearts.
And then meet it head on.
Go!
Don't miss an all-new Shaman King, coming up next.
On the next Shaman King, it's the one battle you never thought you'd see.
40, no!
You better look out, yo. Your best friend's coming to get you. And he won't stop until you go down.
Master Yo! I am not going to step aside.
It's an all-new Shaman King, coming up next.
On an all-new Shaman King,
I'll make sure they're eliminated.
when Yo is forced to fight his friends in order to save them from the power of Zeke.
Say what?
Will it be salvation
We will wipe you out!
or self-destruction?
Go!
Whoa!
Find out on an all-new Shaman King, coming up next. On an all-new Shaman King. Incredible three-way battles, gigantic monster spirits, and a whole lot of screaming. Turn up the volume on the final 9 episodes of Shaman King. It's a high-decibel new Shaman King, coming up next, only on 4Kids TV.
Fate has put power into the wrong hands.
The world as we know it is coming to an end.
Yo, you have to stop him.
Soon we'll be united, and the King of Spirits will be mine.
It's a mesmerizing all-new Shaman King, coming up next.
It's like this. There's these 5 teenage girls, and they were like leading ordinary lives until they discovered their Meum power. Zoe, fearless feline leader. Karina, debutante of doom. Bridget, brainiac on the attack. Kiki, crazy and cool. And Renee, diva of danger. 5 girls with supernatural powers, saving the world with style. You don't want to miss Meum power, only on 4Kids TV.
News of the world. Let's meet the Mew-Mews. The fight for planet Earth rages on. Even society's rich and mollycoddled are rolling up their sleeves and getting their hands dirty. Why, just look at Karina Bucksworth. This debutante is living proof that you're never too privileged to take one for the team. As long as team time doesn't interfere with tea time. That's Karina Bucksworth. Don't miss the Mew-Mews. Only on 4Kids TV.
Next time on the Mew-Mews. I'm still totally freaked out over that slimeball Dren sneaking a kiss. Every time I see Mark, I act like a complete freakazoid. When he asks me to go to the amusement park with him, I don't know what to do. Thankfully, Mini-Mew sets me on the right path and we have a really cool time. Everything goes great until Dren drops in and spoils all the fun. But don't worry, it's nothing me and the Mews can't handle. Anyway, see you next week on Mew Power. Next time on the Mew-Mews. As if I weren't busy enough saving the world and all, I get drafted by the gymnastics team to help them win some big competition.
We saw your triple back plunge half pivot rotation in the street this morning.
All I want to do is win Mark's heart. Maybe I could do both at the same time. Oh, and did I mention the Psycho Mutant Seal? There's a Psycho Mutant Seal. Anyway, see you next week on Mew Power. Next time on the Mew-Mews. Just when the daily grind of cappuccinos and customers is about to get to us, Bridget wins an all-expense-paid trip for her and her friends to a fancy resort spa. Well, fancy's not exactly the word. I mean, what kind of massage can you get with a bulldozer? And what's with those chimps? Anyway, Anyway, maybe our new friend Marco can help us solve the mystery. That is, if Dren doesn't get to him first. I thought spas were supposed to be relaxing. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power.
What's up, Mikey?
Just telling my homies what's coming up on the best of Ninja Turtles. The Exterminators didn't show up.
Did I mention how much I hate bugs?
And poor Raph got a little carried away.
Bugs must pay!
And we also...
I get the point, Mikey.
Don't miss the best of the Ninja Turtles next week.
The best of the Ninja Turtles is moving to a new time starting next week. Catch the Fab Foursome at 10 Eastern here on 4Kids TV. Check out what's coming up on the best of the Ninja Turtles. So we all thought Mikey had seen too many monster movies.
The subject appears to be in some discomfort.
This is the part in the movie where we should be looking for the monster's one weakness so we can kiss our shells goodbye. Thanks.
It's the best of the Ninja Turtles next week.
On the next piece of One Piece. Before Zolo was a master, he was a disaster.
You have studied the way of two swords?
This is my first time even holding one!
What was it that turned him into a hero? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. On the next Sonic X. A dangerous rescue mission. Prepare to be blown into space! Ends in disaster for Sonic. Don't miss Sonic X next week. On the next Sonic X. What's causing everyday household appliances to go on a robotic rampage?
Eggman must be behind this.
Find out on Sonic X next week. On the next Sonic X. When an old enemy arises,
This guy is gonna catch me.
nothing will stand in his way.
Sonic, be careful!
The chase is on in Sonic X next week. On the next Sonic X, a volcano's about to erupt, and that's not all.
There must be a way to stop it.
It's pretty tough.
The clock is ticking on Sonic X next week. On the next Sonic X, the time is near to say goodbye. At Sonic X next week. On the next piece of One Piece, Luffy has finally met his match.
Tour boy, no!
Is the adventure over for Straw Hat and his crew?
Krieg has won!
Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. On the next piece of One Piece, Luffy can't swim. So why is no one trying to save him? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. On the next piece of One Piece. Chew on this!
Chef Zep slugged him!
Sanji's getting kicked out. What did he do to turn Zeph against him? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. On the next piece of One Piece. Usopp versus Arlong? Can a coward with a slingshot take on the most ruthless villain of the East Blue Sea? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. On the next piece of One Piece. Nothing gets in the way of Nami's plans, not even a friend.
I'm sorry, Usopp. It's all over now.
How far will she go to get her way? Come aboard the next episode of One Piece and find out next week. On the next piece of One Piece.
What'd you do with Usopp?
What's it to you?
Why is Nami pretending she did away with Usopp?
We're over!
Will Zolo bring her back or take her out? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. On the next piece of One Piece. Nami was just a regular kid until suddenly everything changed. What went down on the worst day of Nami's life? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. On the next piece of One Piece. Will the Navy end Nami's 8-year battle for freedom? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week on the next piece of One Piece. Luffy's really stuck his foot in it now.
Let me go!
Is he gonna get paid before he gets saved?
You can't! No!
Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week on the next piece of One Piece. Sanji's in Merman territory now. Will he be able to surf on their turf? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week on the next piece of One Piece.
Let's finish this, Arlong!
This is one battle you can really sink your teeth into. Can Luffy win a fight against Arlong's bite? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week on the next piece of One Piece. Is the battle over for Luffy and Arlong?
The whole building's going down.
Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. It's a summer bummer for Zolo when he can only afford to buy a sword with a terrible curse.
I'll take it.
An all-new episode of One Piece is coming up next week. It's a summer bummer for Sanji when he gets hooked on the fish of his dreams.
Wow, a Titanic tuna?
But he can't buy it to fry it.
No way.
Will Sanji flip out? Come aboard an all-new episode of One Piece and find out next week. It's a summer bummer for Chaser when he finally rounds up his pirates.
You mongrels are all mine now.
Only to get caught up by a mystery man and a green gust of wind.
What are you doing here?
An all-new episode of One Piece is coming up next week. Kirby, right back at ya! Kawasaki gets a visit from an old friend and finds himself in a cook-off competition.
Then the winner gets to keep the restaurant.
And then things really start getting hot. It's an all-new Kirby coming up next.
Ah, birds, nature's most gentle creatures.
That's a load of hooey! They attacking Capital, destroying everything! Yeah, and their leader's a giant mutant psycho! Give me Kirby! But how can Kirby beat that beach behemoth? Find out on Kirby right back at you! Coming up next!
A new computer turns Kirby and Dedede into cartoons. But when the computer turns into a monster, I can't control my body. The real show begins.
I'm going to delete your friend Kirby permanently.
Look out, Kirby!
Don't miss an all-new Kirby right back at you. Coming up next.
This cartoon's cracking up!
Big monster!
He's trying to eat Kirby, and we're next. We all gonna be Escargoon grub? It's an all-new Kirby right back at you. Coming up next.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
Rawr.
Four adventurers in search of their dreams. Wealth,
It's mine! All this gold is mine!
fame,
All I want is to be the greatest swordsman in the world.
fortune,
I'm gonna find One Piece!
and...
Whoa!
We'll get back to you. Sure, they're dreaming. Got a problem with that? One Piece. All new. Right now.
I'm going to be king of the pirates!
I'm gonna find One Piece!
New horizons.
My dream is to get to the Great Blue.
And... we'll get back to you. Sure, they're dreaming. Got a problem with that? One Piece. All new. Right now.
Sorry, my bad. Alien Racers, the race is on. Premieres later this morning.
On the next, Sonic X. In his quest to build a dark empire,
Those hostages need our help!
Eggman will stop at nothing.
I'll finish them with one blast. Oh, yeah?
Catch Sonic X next week.
Sonic's world and Earth are about to collide.
Our only hope to save both worlds is to send you and Sonic back home.
Time's running out. Catch Sonic X before it's too late next week.
On a very special Sonic X, not ready to say goodbye, Chris and Sonic run away. Two best friends, one incredible journey. You won't want to miss Sonic X next week. On the next Sonic X, when Eggman unleashes a secret weapon.
This is it.
Only one thing can save Tails, Super Sonic. Don't miss a super spectacular Sonic X next week.
It's the greatest race ever in Cappy Town history. It's Kirby versus a bad biker gang. Just wait, I'll finish you off later. It's a fight to the finish line. Don't miss an all-new Kirby right back at you later this morning.
Has Faust returned to the dark side?
The guy tried to turn me into a science experiment.
It's an all-new Shaman King next.
News of the world. Let's meet the Mew Mews. She's cool. She's calm. And she's got it going on. Most of the time. That's Zoe Hansen. Don't miss an all-new Mew Mew power next week.
On the season finale of Shaman King, losing his parents at a young age, Lyserg seeks revenge on the man responsible. Seek. Don't miss this shocking season finale of Shaman King, coming up next. When the earth trembles, the sky explodes, and the spirits rise, it can only mean one thing.
This is the hallowed spot where final judgment will occur.
Final judgment?
It's an incredible new episode of Shaman King, coming up next.
On the next Sonic X, the 7th Chaos Emerald is waiting for me.
We can't waste time. Open fire.
That Chaos Emerald is mine! Don't miss this shocking episode of Sonic X next week.
On the next Sonic X, Sonic's searching for Amy,
Hold on, Amy. We'll find you.
while Knuckles hunts for the Master Emerald.
Going my way?
I'll show those feather-brained flyboys not to mess with me!
Sonic X, next week. On the next Sonic X, the search for the Master Emerald leads Sonic to an ancient ruin.
Kinda creepy.
Here, Sonic, have a ball!
Catch Sonic X next week.
On the next Sonic X, maximum security, maximum danger, calls for maximum courage. Can Sonic survive escape from Prison Island? Catch Sonic X next week.
What's cooking on Kirby? Just you wait and see. Kirby right back at ya. It's the place to be.
Kirby's got modes you won't believe. DDD has something up his sleeve.
The scary new monsters from NME.
It's all on Kirby.
Kirby's back and on the attack with all new episodes starting next week.
Start your engines. They're coming. It's the Bad Boy Bikers versus Kirby in Cappy Town's biggest race ever. No warp stars allowed. Don't get left behind. Catch an all-new Kirby right back at you. Coming up next.
Coming up on the best of the Ninja Turtles, we made some new friends. Ew. And then they took us out for a spin. That thing looks like a giant toilet. Check out the best of the Ninja Turtles next week. Coming up on Best of the Ninja Turtles, my obsession with comic books leads us to a house of action heroes.
It's just some old dudes.
Old? So we had to help these old-timers before it was too late.
Oh, no.
It's Best of the Ninja Turtles next week. So me and Sensei were out and about, and Touch and Go wanted to join in the fun. What's the matter, Sparky? Dead battery?
Michelangelo, stop showing off.
Sorry, Sensei. Check out Best of the Ninja Turtles next week.